What's up, guys? I'm just relaxing at home, but I was thinking about you. I get a lot of comments and such and letters, and a lot of these weigh heavy on me. And there's a lot of guys out there, in particular me, because of where I am and the channel that I run. So many guys write me about moving to the Philippines, and a lot of these guys, they have hypothetical knowledge, or maybe worse, they're actually lying to themselves about certain things. And what's funny about a lot of these guys, they have these bad attitudes and they're complaining, especially a lot of guys from America, they complain about Americans. But what's ironic is they're complaining about people and they don't realize that they're one of the people that they're complaining about. And I'll give you an example. By the way, these guys that say they want to move to the Philippines because it's better, these are guys that are all talk and they're not actually ever going to do it. But I'll give you an example. There was that other video where I talked about how someone commented that they're from Canada and they hated living in Canada and they want to move to the Philippines for a list of reasons that they listed. And one of the reasons was, I just want to live a simple lifestyle. And in the video I did respond to that, I pointed out, well, if he just wanted a simple lifestyle, he could move to a small town in Canada or rural Canada and have a simple lifestyle. But one of my viewers, Lonely Farmer, he actually pointed out that most of these guys that claim they want to move to the Philippines because they want a simple lifestyle, they don't actually want a simple lifestyle. What they really want is a lavish lifestyle of getting drunk all the time and having sex with hot young babes. And it's funny because I replied to the guy's comment and I replied to everything he listed and pointed out that he could have those things already where he already is, or at least on his continent. And then he responded back and he said, well, I want to move to the Philippines. Like, his basis, he'd never actually even been to the Philippines, so his vision of the Philippines, it was based entirely off of imagination. But he said that he used to date a Filipina in Canada and it was the best sex of his life. That's why he wanted to move. He said it was the best sex of his life with this Filipina in Canada, but eventually he got bored with her, so he dumped her. Which kind of tells you that guy's thinking and that guy's mentality. Another guy I had left me a comment and he said, oh, it's so cheap to live in the Philippines. I want to live in the Philippines. I don't like the United States and I clash with people all the time in the United States, so I want to move to the Philippines. And I pointed out, well, some things aren't exactly, in terms of cost of living, aren't exactly the way that you think they're going to be. And I said to him, I asked him the question, if you can't get along with people in the United States, what makes you think that Filipinos are going to like you? Do you think that, because I mean really, do you think that the people of the Philippines, they want these guys coming over from the United States that are angry, bitter, have a chip on their shoulder, clash with people all the time? Do you really think that that's what they want coming into their country? And he complained about he doesn't like Americans. Like, he got back to me and he said to me, oh, you can't tell me otherwise. I know I'm totally right on this. He wouldn't even address that question of what makes him think that Filipinos are going to like him more than Americans. And he said, and I said, oh, well, really, why don't you move to the Philippines? I've moved to the Philippines. Why don't you just move to the Philippines instead of staying someplace where you're unhappy? And he said, well, I can't move because I'm not rich. That's what he said. Oh, really? You were just telling me that's so cheap to live in the Philippines, but now you're telling me you can't move because you're not rich? He doesn't understand that he's one of those arrogant guys that are saying, I know I'm right and you can't tell me anything different. And I had another comment recently from a guy that I think is lying to himself to some extent, and I'm not trying to call him out, but he commented on my video where I compare American girls and Filipino girls, and he said, well, he basically said that he could get girls that are 10s in terms of having that perfect look. And he said, but I don't go after 10s because they don't have good personalities and they're not smart. Well, first of all, that's an extremely shallow comment to say that, oh, well, that's a beautiful woman, so there's no possible way that she could also be smart or have a good personality. That's as shallow as someone saying, oh, well, I don't want that girl just because her boobs are too small or something else like that. Her nose is a little crooked. That's just as shallow. In fact, it could be even worse. But I think that he's using a coping mechanism to kid himself and kind of lie to himself and saying, well, you know what, I could get a girl that's a 10, but I don't really want that because she's not smart. That good-looking girl over there, I'm not going to go after her because she's not good enough for me. She's not smart, so I'll just not go after her. When in reality, I think the issue would be more that he doesn't feel good about himself or have the confidence to go talk to those girls. And really, guys, whatever turns you on, that's what you should be going after. And guys, if you want to move to the Philippines, that's cool. Whatever you want is cool. I'm not trying to keep anyone from getting what they want. In fact, it's the opposite. I want to help you guys get what you want, at least to the best of my abilities. But I think that lying to yourself, maybe that gives you some sort of relief and relief of stress in the short run. But I think what maybe you should focus on is sacrificing a little bit of pleasure in the short run for the greater gain in the long run. That's really what you want, I think, is not what's going to make you feel good this afternoon, but what's going to make you feel good for the next 5 or 10 years. And you got to be honest with yourself. And so many guys, they say they want things, but it's not really what they want. They're kind of maybe, it's one thing to lie to other people, it's one thing to lie to me, but lying to yourself probably isn't going to help you out, especially in the long run. So you got to ask yourself what it is you actually want. Otherwise, you're wandering around aimlessly. So first of all, ask yourself what it is exactly that you want, and then ask yourself why you want it, because that's very important. Then ask yourself how you're going to get it. And I actually saw this advertisement for some movie that was going to be on TV, and they said something about it's not about the pursuit. It's not about the pursuit of happiness. It's about the happiness that's in the pursuit. So in your journey, definitely, just because you have goals and want to do certain things doesn't mean it's going to be easy. It's going to be a struggle, especially, I'm sure, if it's something really good that you want. Maybe it's something simple like moving to another country, which is definitely doable, or maybe it's you have some sort of bigger dream, but definitely enjoy the journey that you're on, even if it doesn't always go exactly the way you want it. And I really hope that these videos are helping you out, because I really do care. Otherwise, I wouldn't care when people leave comments like this and go about things in these certain ways. So I just want to help you guys get what you want, and I also want to entertain you guys along the way. And right now, I'm just going to enjoy the sun setting. So until next time, guys.